I'm getting a lot of comments on the channel which quite honestly relate to the basics of the game. Although I've covered these in what I thought was enough detail in previous videos, I think judging by the comments I'm getting, then it's really a time to have a little bit of a review on these basics. So let's start with where I put my bridge hand, which is a very important aspect of the game, and then move on to where I hold the cue. Well, what I've done here is I've put a mark on my cue 10.5 inches away from the tip. Now in the previous video, I think my guideline was between 10 and 12 inches. So I'm going to be a little bit more specific and say that that measurement should be 10.5 inches. All right, and it will suit most players, certainly most beginners. That 10.5 inches, to determine the follow through, I put another mark 6 inches away from the first one. We'll go into that in greater detail. Now what I want to just emphasize is these two marks are only relevant when we can get a hand on the table to play a normal shot. Obviously if the cue ball is over here, we're going to have to make some adjustment. Right, so that normal shot, the 10.5 inches from cue tip to mark, that should be where my thumb meets the knuckle. And that's where my bridge hand goes. Now it's only relevant when the cue tip is at the ball, because if I'm here, exaggerating it slightly, by the time I've hit the cue ball, I'm nowhere near the mark. So it's only relevant when the cue tip is close to the ball. So let's say within 1/4 inch. Okay, so that takes care of where to place the bridge hand. Now where do I hold the cue? Well, that determines how much we achieve in the follow through. So here, that second mark of 6 inches now becomes relevant. So if I hold the cue there as an example, and my bridge hand is there, I place the cue on the chest, and then I bring my hand forward to the chest, I have not reached my second mark. So I have not got enough follow through. So quite simply, all I need to do is move this hand backwards, and that increases the distance between my right hand and the body, which is going to transfer to the front and become the follow through. So let's just show that in a few little examples. So here I'm at the side of the cue ball. My bridge hand is in the correct position. I hit my chest, not enough follow through. I move my hand back, from there hit my chest, still have not reached my second mark, so I need to move my hand further back. Now I'm getting to the point where I hit my chest, I've now reached my second mark. So that is roughly where I need to hold the cue. Now I emphasize that these are only guidelines. They're not set in tablets of stone. Everybody is slightly different, but please let me assure you, they are very, very good guidelines. So, a recap, marked 10.5 inches, that's where my bridge hand goes. But my cue tip must be at the cue ball. 6 inches away is my follow through, and that determines where I hold the cue. Please bear these points in mind. Some textbooks will tell you that the arm from elbow to the wrist should hang down vertically. Well, that's fine. If a player can do that and still achieve his 6 inches of follow through when he brings his hand to the chest, I haven't got a problem with that at all. But let's be honest about this. We're all slightly different. Some of us slightly overweight. Some of us don't have the flexibility in the shoulder girdle. So some of us, from the distance between shoulder and elbow, are a little bit shorter. So for me to achieve the 6 inches of follow through, that player, he may be slightly behind the vertical. Well, I believe that achieving the 6 inches of follow through is more important than having your arm vertical. So if I want to achieve that 6 inches of follow through, and I'm slightly, don't overdo this, but if I'm slightly behind the vertical, that is fine. I've covered the grip in detail a couple of times now in video form, but I just want to emphasize just a couple of points. The first one is that if you are delivering that cue in a straight line and you can play all the shots, I don't really care how you grip it. The most important thing is that you deliver it in a straight line. I have given you guidelines of fixed point, and then bring the hand forward to the chest. But some players don't do that at all. Some of the top professionals from there will start in that position, concentrating on the front of the grip, but to get the follow through, they will alter the front of the grip and actually go past the chest. If you can do that and still keep that cue straight, then I haven't got a problem with that at all. But let me please assure you that if a problem occurs in a player's game, then the first thing I will look at is his grip. Because somewhere along the line, the grip is the major flaw in most people's game. Not totally, I accept that. But generally speaking, it is one of the areas first to have a look at. So the modern game is about concentrating on the front of the hand, unfurling the fingers, and then going forward and closing them. Bringing the hand to the chest. But again, if you can do that and go past the chest, altering the grip slightly, I don't care. As long as you cue straight and you can play all the shots.